Hello, welcome back to B-Boss Kitchen, and welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. I would like to ask, if you have not subscribed, click on the subscription button please. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to click the notification bell. I am going to make a cake for my Christmas dinner. My family comes to my home on Christmas, and I always cook a big dinner for us. And so I have been really busy this week making lots of goodies to go on my goodie table, or it's not really appetizer. I've been saying appetizer table, but it's not really appetizers, it's just goodies. But I am going to make a cake for my main dessert for this meal, and it is called a sparkling cranberry white chocolate cake. I think this is going to be wonderful. And so I have never made it. Fingers crossed that it turns out good. I'm going to bake my layers. It's getting late in the day. I have been really busy today. We have this cold winter front that's coming down through the country, and it's hitting us today, and it's going to get about 21 tonight, which is pretty cold for South Georgia, and then tomorrow night it's going to be in the teens. So I've been really scampering outside today trying to gather fruit off of my fruit trees. I didn't get it all picked, but I did pick a lot, and covered up what I couldn't put in my hothouse. I covered up some plants that I have that are just really huge, and I couldn't move them, so I hope they'll survive this cold. I don't know. But anyhow, it's out of my control, so I'm not going to worry about that. I would like to say one thing. I had mentioned in another video about an issue that I was having with my eye. I had fluid behind the retina, was what the optometrist told me. And so I was referred to a retina specialist. I saw him yesterday afternoon, and they did some tests on me, and he told me that it's fluid underneath, it's under the retina. And I have to read this, and even at that I can't really pronounce it, but he told me what I had wrong with my eyes, called central serous central serous chorioretinopathy. And so he told me that usually it clears up on its own. It takes about 3 months. So my vision has really been impaired in my right eye, and I'm really happy that it will clear up, hopefully, on its own. If it doesn't, he said sometimes you have to have oral medication or possibly injections. So you guys, please pray for me that this will totally clear up. He said he would see me in 8 weeks, since this has been going on a little bit over a month with me. But anyhow, enough about me. I want to get started on this cake, and so I'm going to show you the list of ingredients, and we're going to get this cake layers baked tonight. So let's get started. You will be needing all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, baking powder, butter, eggs, vanilla extract, sour cream, milk, water, fresh cranberries, heavy whipping cream, white chips, and powdered sugar. Okay, the first thing that I have to do is to candy my cranberries that I will garnish this cake with. So what I will do is take a cup of sugar and a cup of water and make a simple syrup. And I will put my cranberries in that and leave them overnight. So I want to get my syrup cooking, because this will need to cool in order for me to put the cranberries in it. So I will get this, I will just cook it until the sugar is totally dissolved. My sugar is dissolved, and so now I will set this off of the heat. This has to cool before I can place my cranberries in it. In the meantime, I am rinsing the cranberries. Okay, the instructions tell me to whisk together in a large mixing bowl my flour, baking powder, and sugar. I have my flour, and I will put my baking powder. And I'll also add my sugar. And now I'll whisk it all together. Okay. And so now it says for me to add my butter, my eggs, my vanilla, my sour cream, and my milk, and mix it on medium speed just until smooth. Okay, so my butter has been softened to room temperature, and so I will put the butter in first. Okay, my butter, my eggs, which it takes 3 eggs, my vanilla extract, which it calls for 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, my sour cream, and my milk. I need to mix this on medium speed just until smooth. Do not overmix, it says. Okay, I want to make sure that this is all mixed. I don't want to get down in the bottom of my bowl and find any flour or anything like that. Looks pretty good. So now I have to gently fold in my cranberries. Okay, I have rinsed my cranberries, so now I'm going to take and fold these in. It calls for 3 cups. Okay, it says to gently fold them in. Okay, it says to use parchment paper in your cake pans, and to spray them with non-stick, spray the sides with non-stick cooking spray. But now I'm going to use Baker's Joy. I will use the parchment paper. I probably wouldn't have to, but I will. I will put this in. Okay, and now I'm going to spray everywhere but in the pan. I tell you what I'm going to do is take this out and spray the sides, and then I will put the parchment in it. And I think that will work better. See there? Okay. Even though I'm spraying it all over the counter. Okay, and then I will put this one in. I'm going to take this one out and spray it so that my paper will lie smooth. Stick it back in. That's much better. Give it something to grip to. Okay, now I've got to rinse my hands off, and then I'll spoon my batter into that. Okay, I am to divide my batter up into these pans. Okay, all right, these will go in the oven that is preheated to 350 degrees, and they will bake for 35 to 40 minutes. And then I will bring them out. I'm going to let these cool overnight, and then I will frost them tomorrow morning. I have this empty Cool Whip bowl, and I'm just going to pour my syrup into this bowl. It has totally cooled. And now I'll put my cranberries in the syrup. Whoops. My girls are racing to get that cranberry that went out, but I don't think they're going to want to eat that. I don't know though. Can never tell about them. Okay, and then I am to stir these so that they get coated really well. And I will put these in the refrigerator. They will sit overnight. And then tomorrow, I coat these with granulated sugar. And if you never have had these candied cranberries, even though they're raw, they are so good. Oh my goodness, when I did that cheesecake at Thanksgiving, it had these candied cranberries on it. And oh my gosh, they were delicious. So anyhow, I will cover this, pop it in the refrigerator overnight, and I will be back in the morning to finish this. But I will show you the cake layers as soon as they come out of the oven, and then I'll sign off for the evening. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, my cakes are done. I've tested them with a toothpick, and they're done. But I'll let these layers cool for 10 minutes, and then I'll take them out of the pan, and I'm going to let them rest on the wire rack. I'll cover them, and I'm just going to wait until in the morning, and then I will finish my cake tomorrow. So I'll see you in the morning. Have a good evening. If it's nighttime there, see you in the morning. Good morning. It's Christmas Eve morning, and I left my water running into the pool. My husband always told me if it was going to freeze, we always left a water hose running into the swimming pool, because he said that was the last faucet that the water ran through the house, and it would keep the water lines from freezing. So it got down last night, I think maybe around 20. And when I got up this morning, I left a good stream running in my swimming pool, and when I got up, I didn't have any water. I almost went into a state of panic. It was a couple of hours, 2.5 hours after I got up before my water actually thawed, and I was able to get some water so that I can get all my stuff going. I've got a ton of stuff yet to do. But anyway, we're going to finish this cake right now. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I have taken my cranberries out of the refrigerator, and they've been soaking overnight in this simple syrup. And so now I'm going to take and put them in sugar, roll them in sugar, because they have to set for about an hour after I do that before I can garnish the cake with them. So I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to get the cake frosted and get it garnished, and we'll be done with the cake. So let's get this going. I've got all my stuff laid out here, ready to go. Okay. I'm just going to drop these into the granulated sugar and stir them around so that they will coat. These are so good. Like I was telling you earlier, I had never had these until I did that cranberry cheesecake, and oh my gosh, they are delicious. This sugar actually hardens. It makes like a shell, so they become crunchy. I could eat them just right by themselves like that. They are so good. I've got so much that I have got to get done today, and then of course I will be super busy from early in the morning until lunchtime. And I have been super busy for a week preparing for this. There's no way I could do everything that I've had to do in a single day. I couldn't believe it when I got up and I didn't have any water. Oh my goodness. I was able to make myself some coffee. I have a Keurig coffee pot. And so I was able to make some coffee. Of course, I've got bottled water that I could have used if I hadn't had it in the pot, but it all worked out okay. I'm going to add a little bit more sugar to my mixing here. What is it, Paisley? Are you trying to tell the people hello? Huh? My little dogs. I tell you, they sit right here when I'm cooking because they are so hopeful that I might drop something. I call them my cleanup crew because they are quick on the draw, buddy. If you drop anything on the floor, they've got it. Like I've said before, I don't give them table scraps. They get dog food, so if they can catch a morsel of human food, they really go after it. And my Paisley that was doing that over there, she's talking to me. She is quite a little dog. I have never had one quite like her. She is just absolutely precious. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle some more sugar on these, and we're going to take them up, and then we're going to start the icing for the cake. What? What are you talking about? If I don't use all of these on the cake, we will definitely be snacking on them. Okay, the cranberries, they're coated, they're candied and coated with the sugar. And so now I'm going to start with the frosting. Okay, it tells me to put my chocolate chips, my white chips, I'm sorry, they're called white chips, to put my white chips in a metal bowl. And I am to bring my heavy whipping cream to a boil in the microwave, which I've done that. It took 1 minute and 27 seconds on high in my microwave. Okay, I'm to pour this heavy whipping cream that I brought to boiling, and now I cover that with saran wrap, and it said to let it set with the saran wrap over it for 5 to 7 minutes. And so I'm going to set my timer for 5, and I will look at it at that point. After that, I'll have to whisk it until it's smooth. Okay, it has been 5 minutes, so I'm going to try this and see. I'm just going to whisk it by hand. Oh yeah. And so I want to mix this, it says, until it's smooth, and that it should be thick. I have my mixer set up because I will have to beat this and add the room temperature butter to it. I have to let this sit now till it's mostly cool, and then I will beat it with my mixer. The instructions tells me to allow the ganache to sit until mostly cool, and so I think it is there. It says it should be thick, and it is. So now it tells me that I have to beat it with a mixer for 2 to 3 minutes. So I'll take my timer and I will time this, but I'm going to start beating it. It tells you to beat it 2 to 3 minutes or until it's smooth and fluffy. That is 2 minutes, and so now I'm going to add my butter into this. Now my butter is at room temperature, it's softened. Okay, the instructions say for me to beat this until it's fully combined. Okay, I think that is good. So now I'm to slowly add my powdered sugar to this and start beating it in. I didn't sift my powdered sugar. It didn't say anything about that, but I did take my whisk and try to break up any lumps that it had in it. I want to check this. It may be, I don't know, if it might be too thick. I don't know, I think it may be okay. The instructions say that if you need to thin it to add more cream, but I think it might be all right. I'll start putting it on the cake, and then if I do need to thin it, I'll bring it back over and thin it down. Okay. That's centered up on my plate. I don't know. I think it is going to be thinned down just a tad. So let me add some cream to this. I'm going to add just a little bit of this heavy whipping cream and thin this down just a tad. I think it would spread easier. I'm going to take it back over to the mixer and blend that. I like the consistency of that better. So let's try this and see. Oh yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to thin it just a tiny bit more. I think it still needs just a little bit. You have to be very careful to hit that sweet spot, because if you get it too thinned, then you've got to add more powdered sugar. But I think this will be better. I added a little bit more when I carried it over to the mixer. You can see that I still had the parchment paper on this, and so it just peels right off. The instructions say to remove any dome that you may have, but mine didn't have a dome. I can hardly wait to try this cake. I think it is going to be some kind of good. The cranberries are going to offset the sweetness. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so good. Now I just want to make sure that my plate is clean from all the frosting or the icing, whichever you want to refer to it as. Make sure I don't have any on my points of my plate. Okay, now I'm going to add my cranberries. Now I did, as you can see, I put my cranberries in this pan so that I could spread them out so they can the sugar can kind of dry and harden. You have to let them set for about an hour. And so I'm going to go ahead and start topping the cake with these. I'm going to sort of press these down so that the baseline will hold. I'm going to scatter some around the edge of my plate, around the bottom. And now I'll place the rest of these that I have left over. I will mound those up on the top. Let's see, I can put one right there. I just love doing this kind of stuff. A lot of you may think, oh, that's too much work for me, but I love it. This is my cup of tea, is baking and making pretty cakes. Oh my goodness, isn't that beautiful? Okay, that is just so pretty. And I think it is going to be delicious. The bad thing is I can't do a taste test because this is for my Christmas dinner tomorrow. I really want to get this video uploaded so that you can see it. And it'll be a madhouse around here tomorrow. So I'm sorry. I know it's going to be delicious. And who knows, I may do a taste test later and just post a short video so that you can know how delicious it is. I might try to do that. Okay, anyway, I'm going to do a taste test of my cake. They've already been eating it and said it was really good. And so I'm going to try it and see just how good this really is. It's a very dense cake, almost like a pound cake. But here's to you, a sparkling cranberry white chocolate cake. That's good. The cake layers really remind me very much of a pound cake. With the cranberries in the batter. That's so good. Let me try a bite with my candied cranberry on it. I tell you, those candied cranberries, I cannot say enough about how good they are. Here's to you. Merry Christmas. Like I said earlier about the cranberries offsetting the sweetness, it is a perfect combination. I hope you'll give this recipe a try. I do wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope everyone stays safe and warm, and may the Lord bless and keep you and your family. Until the next time, you take care. But this is B-Boss saying I'll see you really soon in another video. Bye.